Ian's getting this thing lowered down so we can pull it out and work on everything, get her unhooked, get her fueled up. But it just never fails, man. I've got all kinds of issues every day. So we're here today to fix that. We'll show you pictures of what the guy did to end up bending it like that. And honestly, he did quite a bit more damage than that. We got a broken light up there. And he actually broke one of the quick attachments to the skid. I'm headed to go get one of these to attach to him. Well, I'll show you what it looks like. The smaller one is over here. There it is. And he actually bent one. I've never seen somebody do so much damage to one of those little things in one little hit, but he says he doesn't know what happened, but I don't know how he cannot know. So we're gonna go get another one of these attachments so we can hopefully hook it back up to the skid and everything actually work fine, but who knows.
Femco sprayer, but all they got are the pictures, and I thought it was gonna be.
That got beat to death. The guy still doesn't know how he did it. It blows my mind. Hydraulic fluid just went everywhere. I just don't know what I hit. I don't know how I hit it. Well, he hit it. What I really think he did is he just pushed it. He must have had caught a branch and just kept going and going, and then eventually the hydraulic fluid started flying, and probably lucky it did. Otherwise, who knows what he would have sheared off. He could have sheared off the entire housing there, which that would have been a whole nother issue. But anyway, we've got these, and the cool thing is I kind of just have this philosophy that anytime somebody breaks something, if something only costs $20 more and it's a little bit more heavy duty, I'm going to pay for it. I'll still charge the customer what it would have cost just to replace this, but I'll spend the extra 20 bucks to get something a little bit better. And it's just kind of how I've always been, and it's going to work out in that case. The light that he broke was 50 bucks. So yeah, he had like a 3-day rental, and he paid was it 3-day? Yeah, it was one of our $800 tiers. So at the end of the day, 800 bucks rented. Granted, I wasted my time, wasted my, fuel on the truck because I did deliver it to him. And it's just a little frustrating. But at the end of the day, we're looking at $75 here for this nice one. I also ordered some backups, some Chinese knockoffs. They're only like 35 bucks each. I wouldn't trust them to run all the time, but you tell me in the comments if you've used them like nonstop, never had an issue on your machines. But I bought them more as like, I can fix it in the field type of situation. I don't have to wait a day and go get this, but I'm not too upset about spending the money on this, especially since I'm charging it for it anyway. So between that, what I'll do is I'll follow up with them after I bend the bracket back. It literally is just a piece of metal that was bent on that housing. We're going to bend that back. We're going to slap that on, make sure everything still works, everything functions. From there, we'll kind of call it good. I'll follow up with him on fuel, and I'll probably even charge him. We'll see how much hydraulic fluid he went through, but according to my bubble, it was pretty low. So we'll see. Hopefully it was only, a little can. I won't really worry about it then. But if I'm refilling the entire machine because he bled all the hydraulic fluid, it'll be a different conversation. Before we head back to the shop, I want to work on one project. I want to make one stop real quick and see if I can work on a project that I've been kind of itching to do. So I'm going to stop by the scrapyard real quick. Knew it was worth a trip. This is literally exactly what I was looking for. These little I-beams here, these 3.5, maybe 4-inch ones, are exactly what I'm looking for. I just need to find one now that's straight. Absolutely perfect. This is what I wanted. This is what I had in my mind. This is what I got. Oh, my vision's coming together already, and it's coming together in a darn scrapyard. I love it. I don't know what I'm already talking about. Dumpster bags. Check out some of my other videos if you don't know what I'm building here, but I have experimented with multiple ways to pick up and unload the dumpster bags we offer around town, and I think this might be the solution I'm looking for. I truly do. I really think this is exactly what I need, and it's the most efficient way rather than the ways you may have seen me do in the past. You can check out some of my other videos. I've got like several different ways that we can pick up these dumpster bags, but this might just be the most efficient build that I will make to do this, and I'm actually pretty stoked about it. All right, so here's the basics of the prototype. Essentially, we'll have a beam going here, a beam going there, and then these beams, in the prototype at least, on this Lone Star dumpster, I'm gonna have a bracket here, or like a D-ring, that I can chain or use a binder to basically hold right here so it can't move. And I'll do it over here too. I'll have one beam, the longest of the beams, hanging right there. See that one? This is either a 12 or 10-foot beam I got from a scrapyard, so we're not sure. What's gonna happen is it's gonna run across the length of here, and if you were to take it right now and set it on top, it would be upside down. But once we flip this over, you'd be able to use a trolley on it. That's the idea. That's it. That's pretty much it. It means super basic. But if I make this work, it'll be awesome. So I'll give you some more detail here. So I want to basically put another D-ring here so you can strap it down to the standard Max XD D-ring down there. So all the down pressure is there, and you don't have to worry about the thing as weight is being applied here from picking up the bag. You don't have to worry about it, you know, raising up the back end or raising up the front, or this thing just getting all over the place. The cool thing is, the way I want to make this is so that it sticks out 2 to 3 feet right here, right? So that it can pick up the bag off the ground with the device. See, snatch blocks are amazing. So I'll show you what I'm thinking. Once I'm done with it, I want to be able to actually scoot the whole apparatus backwards with little effort. That way, the beam isn't hanging off the end there, and you can just basically move it back and forth as you need it. So, rolling operations, dumpster bag pickup system for Max XD and Lone Star dumpsters, coming soon. All right, we cleaned up about the center area where we're gonna weld this. And again, this is a prototype. That's why we're using scrap metal. But truly, if this works out, I would love to manufacture something like this where you could actually more or less assemble it rather than it be one big unit. Ship it in a box, essentially, to anybody else who would need one, and you could essentially just put it together. These would be, instead of being directly welded, these would be more like brackets where, and this probably wouldn't be an I-beam because these are heavy. I'm probably gonna usually put this on with a machine. I'll use either a grapple bucket or the mini excavator, and I'll drop it onto whatever dumpster we're using to pick these up. But instead of it being one big piece, you could essentially just, you know, at the beginning of the day, put one beam there, put one beam here, and then put your other beam on there, and just get it all hooked up together. I don't know. It could be a product that would be really ideal for guys running these trailers, always trying to figure out the most efficient way to pick up these dumpster bags. Because at the end of the day, the way I've been picking them up was usually with a machine on a flatbed. I'll reach over, pick it up, drop it onto the flatbed, but then I still need to transport it to a dumpster. But if I could do it all with one rig, pick them up with this, and then drive this thing to the landfill full with 6 or 7 bags, and I think I'd actually use the 20 yard instead of this shallow 14 yard. I think the 20 yard would be most appropriate. So I could just fill it up with 6 bags in a day or more, and then just go to the dump, pour it out, and move on. I'm really liking this idea so far. Let me know in the comments what you think at this moment, what this is gonna look like. All right, so this is basically what it will look like mocked up. Sticks out just a little bit. Obviously this is upside down, so I can make these welds here and here. And like I said, I'd really like this to be a bracket that can like somehow attach to here and keep this thing in nice and tight, maybe on the top or however I'm gonna do it. Probably actually would be on the top right here and with, you know, some supports. But I really think we can make this work, and maybe a lighter duty metal here. Although we'll kind of see. We're gonna stress test this for a while before we try to manufacture anything permanent. But this is it. You gotta imagine this thing, like I said, flipped over, so this sits in the whole rail. It can run the length of the rail, but we can pick them up and then drag them to the back. Pick them up, drag them to the back, so even stack them if we're in high enough. So this is lining up to my thoughts. I love when things work out in my head. Oh yeah, if you didn't see, my neighbor has a boat back here. Look at that. She's been chilling back there since I've lived here. I've lived here a while. The only water that thing's seen is the rain, so yeah, maybe he'll fix it. All right, I can't stress enough that I don't know anything about welding. The only thing I know is what I watched in like a 3-minute video on YouTube once. And ever since then, I've done little tack welds. And by every since then, I mean like the 4 times I've ever tried to weld in my life. So right now I borrowed my brother's Harbor Freight Special. So there it is. So we will see how this goes. I really don't know anything. This is the prototype. I'm gonna just daub a bunch of weld on here, grind it, make it work. And when I really want to use this, I'll bring it to a professional who can, you know, put it all together, make sure that it's very, very appropriate load bearing. But for now, I can't wait, and I just want to get it hooked up and get it mocked up at least so that somebody else can make it better. Fucking hell, dick!
Wow!
Hold that.
Too close to my eye socket with that thing.
Alright, go ahead and roast me. I literally don't know anything about welding, and this will probably not pass any test that you guys are happy with, but it'll at least let us see if this thing works at all. Hopefully it doesn't just break. Like I said, roast me. Alright, I know the last one was trash, but am I getting better yet? I let this one eat a little bit more. Somebody tell me, how bad are my welds? Rolling operations. We tack it, you whack it. No guarantees on any products. Redneck safety testing. Ready, Keegan? How much do you weigh?
185.
Okay, I weigh 150, so on the dot. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I was doing a freaking circus.
I know, right? Okay, so, I mean, it held 300, 400 pounds right there, so.
Dare ask me to walk a line when I get pulled over. Pass any D line.
Please don't.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so should we do a little bounce? Just a little bounce. Okay. Okay, we're done. Done testing. Rolled up to the shop, and I kid you not, this dude, I thought was a cone, but he's like on the phone, like a drifter, just chilling in the ditch at the shop. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I don't even know. My wife surprised me with a new tool set, so this should have everything. This doesn't leave the truck because it's got everything that I need to basically socket-wise and wrench-wise fix things. So let's see if that's the case. Let's see if we've got stuff big enough for this. Ooh. Okay, never fails. Even the monkey wrench we have with us is too small. Of course, the other truck has the big one, but luckily, we always have a backup. All right, that'll at least let us know if the grapple bucket still works once we get it hooked up. That way I can figure out if this guy's getting a super big bill or just a really small one. But let me show you what happens here. Can't get attached to this equipment, like I said, because, you know, a little bit of damage on there. I think we're gonna be able to bend that back. We'll try here in a minute. Of course, I left the crowbar in the other truck too, because these are actually designed to do this. If this was fixated like to the machine more than just this bracket, this would be a bigger mess. But luckily, this is what essentially bent. And then this bracket up here had been bent a little bit, but I already got it bent back. But these tubes and fittings all look okay to the point that we can just bend this back slightly and should be in a good place. Now I'm actually looking a little closer. Looks like he sheared that out. I mean, he did a number on it, but nothing to the point where I think this machine won't be usable. So we'll find out as we use it a little bit more if we've got extensive damage, but I don't think we will. But now we're gonna go ahead and try to bend that way just a little bit so it straightens back out. Then we'll test the grapple bucket and make sure everything works. Like I said, you can't be too upset about it. I'll show you what happened to the mini excavator the first time it was ever rented. Still hanging out. So if you notice, we're missing a reflector here and a little bit of paint. I've actually buffed this out. I might, if I can find one, find the, I know I have them, the photos of what this originally looked like. But the guy clearly had basically swung into a tree, and this was so dirtied up and dented it looked way worse. But I was able to buff it out. I'm getting the reflector still to pop back in here. Got it so the door could open just fine, but literally the first rinse hole we ever had, this door was crushed in, and I mean pretty crushed. We popped it out from the inside quite a bit, so now it's just a little bit of surface damage. That's kind of where the hydraulic hub is in there, and luckily whatever motion he was making that slammed into that tree when he was operating didn't go any farther, because more force and we would have had a much bigger issue. So he actually paid for some insurance coverage, which covered it. You know, I'll let that thing get banged up a little bit more, and then I'll just order one big panel all at once to slap in there and replace. But can't be too upset about surface damage. I mean, honestly, you can hardly tell now. Now we just got to hope that everything slides on here nice and still works. So I'd say most of the force was pushed on the top since this was bent, and obviously this one was broken. So we want to make sure this still works, and we'll get an electronic connector to see if that still works. But as long as these aren't bent internally and these are still okay and nothing's leaking like crazy, I think we'll be okay. Old boy started moving again. Let me tell you, he ain't moving in a straight line. Poor dude. Hi, Dot. We know a couple of those guys. They were calling him our mascot. Telling everybody that drove by he's our mascot now, so gotta appreciate that. Oh man. I think this mister might be on a little something. He is not walking a very straight line. Okay, update. I couldn't film it in time, but he just pulled his pants up and stopped peeing, so yeah, I don't think this dude knows what planet he's on. Keegan's getting her off. So that's what she said. I've tightened up, put on. Go ahead, Keegan. Hit the auxiliary. It's not working. Hit the green button. Now hit it. There you go. Alright, let's see if this claw works. Look at that! Alright, hang on, let me check for leaks. Not seeing anything crazy? You see anything spraying out of here? It's gonna feel a little underpowered because we don't have enough hydraulic fluid in it, but bring her all the way up. Bring her open. Yeah. Definitely have a little rebound in this one though. This one. I think it's okay though. I mean, these things get beat hard, so. They get beat hard. Anyway, all right, let's clean her up. I think we're good. We had a Brent bracket here. We had a broken thing here. We had a broken light. He's really out, or I'm out and he's out, about $100 plus the fuel, which we'll charge him for. I'm gonna go through and tighten up all these fittings because as you can see, I see a little bit of a drip here, which could just be from, you know, all the hydraulic fluid that's sprayed everywhere, or it could be because it is slowly leaking. So what we'll do is we'll kind of get this cleaned up, let it sit, see if we still have a drip when the machine's running, and go from there. But hopefully we just have a mild fix going on here. You can tell me otherwise if I need to be worried, if any of you guys are experts. It's starting to rain. We have one more pickup left of the day, so I'm gonna get Keegan on the road so he can get that dumpster picked up. I'll go back to kind of maybe mess with our trolley for our dumpster bag pickup system. With this, I think we're gonna be okay. I'm gonna come back later, check to make sure those hydraulics seals aren't leaking, but everything's needs a good soap grease remover type situation because it's just covered in hydraulic fluid. So we did a quick rinse to get some of the mud off of it. We'll let the rain take care of a little bit of it, and then we'll come back and give her a proper bath, and then give her a once over, come back, grease it, fill her back up with some hydraulic fluid. But from what you saw, even the little quick fix it's usable again, and we could probably beat on it all day.